Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 4, verse number 6. Chapter is entitled... It's not here. Anybody know what the title of the chapter is? Anyway. Katam alakshita paure samprapta kurujangalan unmata mukajadavad vicharanga jasavaye. It's not there yet. Katam alakshita paure samprapta kurujangalan unmata mukajadavad vicharanga jasavaye. Katam alakshita paure samprapta kurujangalan unmata mukajadavad vicharanga jasavaye. Word for word. Katam, how? Alakshitaha, recognized. Paurehi, by the citizens. Samprapta, reaching. Kurujangalan, the Kuru Jangala provinces. Unmata, mad. Muka, dumb. Jadavad, stunted. Vicharan, wandering. Gajasavaye, Hastinapur. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. How was he, Srila Shukadev, the son of Vyas, recognized by the citizens when he entered the city of Hastinapur, now Delhi? After wandering in the provinces of Kuru and Jangala, appearing like a madman, dumb and retarded. Purport. The present city of Delhi was formerly known as Hastinapur, because it was first established by King Hasti. Goswami Shukadev, after leaving his paternal home, was roaming like a madman, and therefore it was very difficult for the citizens to recognize him in his exalted position. A sage is not therefore recognized by sight, but by hearing. One should approach a sadhu or great sage not to see, but to hear him. If one is not prepared to hear the words of a sadhu, there is no profit. Shukadev Goswami was a sadhu who could speak on the transcendental activities of the Lord. He did not satisfy the whims of ordinary citizens. He was recognized when he spoke on the subject of Bhagavatam, and he never attempted jugglery like a magician. Outwardly, he appeared to be a retarded, dumb, mad man, but in fact, he was the most elevated, transcendental personality. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shukadev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Taptakan Chanagaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isham Isha Vatarakan Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samgyakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaudadai Pushpavanto Chitra Sando Tamonudo Yaradvaitam Brahmopanishadi Tadapi Yasya Tanuba Yadatmantaryami Purusha Etiso Sang Savibhava Sadeshvarye Purnoya Iha Bhagavansa Swayam Ayam Na Chaitanyat Krishna Jagati Paratadvam Param Iha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So Srila Shukadev Goswami, the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, such an important personality that we must get to know and hear from. Every day when we're hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, which I'm sure all of you in this room are daily hearing the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, every day we're hearing directly from the lips of Shukadev Goswami. Actually, we shouldn't be confused that the writing in these books is not sound vibration. No, this is sound vibration put on paper, and therefore we're hearing directly from the lips of the pure devotee. Does anyone know how Shukadev Goswami received the name Shuka? Anybody know? It's a very special story. He received the name Shukadev Goswami. Shuka means parrot. And so what does the parrot do? It repeats, uttering, yes, repeats, re-utters the words it hears. So the parrot hears something, you can say any kind of sound vibration or any words, and the parrot will repeat exactly how it heard it. Same exact sound, same pitch, same tone, same speed, everything same. So Shukadev Goswami, he received the name Shuka because he was compared to the parrot. He heard from his father, Srila Vyasadeva, right? He was born at 16 years of age, exited the womb, immediately ran for the forest because he was in Brahman realization. He didn't want anything to do with Maya. So he immediately ran to the forest and disappeared, left any kind of material situation, material attachments. Srila Vyasadeva, his father, was a grihasta. He thought, I don't want anything to do with this grihasta ashram. I'm going to get out of here. And so Srila Vyasadeva, his father, sent his disciples, sent some brahmanas to go and recite Srimad Bhagavatam. As they were reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami became attracted. Not only did he become attracted, but he became completely absorbed in the sound vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam. He heard and learned from his father, Srila Vyasadeva, and memorized the whole Bhagavatam immediately. Because he was a completely pure devotee, self-realized soul. He could memorize a verse like that just by hearing it one time. So he memorized the Srimad Bhagavatam and he recited it to? Who did he recite the Bhagavatam to? Parikshit Maharaj. Yes. And he recited it exactly how he heard it. from his father. Doesn't need to add anything, doesn't need to change anything. Like in the modern society, we always feel we have to change things, we always feel we have to add things, but actually no. Yeah, exactly. Misinterpret and give our own philosophy. Srila Prabhupada explains that a muni is only a muni if he has his own philosophy, different from everyone else. That's the only way someone can really be a muni, a famous muni at least. So everybody wants to be famous, so everyone wants to have their own philosophy, their own ideas. But Shukadev Goswami said, no, I have received this Srimad Bhagavatam from my father, Srila Vyasadeva, perfectly. And I'm going to recite it exactly as it was. But the interesting thing about his name being Shuka also, is that he recited Srimad Bhagavatam exactly as he heard it from his father, but there was a difference at the same time. Does anyone know what that difference is? It was even more nectarious. It was even more sweet. Yes. So his name is Shuka also because when the parrot bites into a fruit, the fruit actually becomes more sweet. There's some kind of, there's some kind of substance in the saliva of the parrot that makes the fruit more sweet. So Shukadev Goswami, he repeats Srimad Bhagavatam exactly as he was taught by his father, by his guru, as he was taught by Narada Muni, as he was taught by Brahma, as he was taught by Krishna himself. Same, no difference. But each time it's recited, it becomes even sweeter. And so now, as we're here hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Srila Prabhupada, it's even sweeter than it was 5,000 years ago, hearing from Shukadev Goswami, hearing from Maharaj Parikshit. This doesn't mean that Srila Prabhupada is greater than Shukadev Goswami. No, we don't compare pure devotees. Pure devotees are all on the equal platform, absolute platform. At the same time, the science of Krishna consciousness is that each time the Bhagavatam is recited from the lips of a pure devotee, it becomes sweeter. So how fortunate we are that we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Now as explained here, that Shukadev Goswami was walking around like a dumb layman, a madman. One might ask, why would someone walk around in this way? But Lord Chaitanya explains to us, Chanadapi sunichena torodapi sahishnana amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Shukadev Goswami accepted this principle of full humility, full surrender, not wanting any material adoration, not wanting to be famous, not wanting to be respected, sitting on the Vyasa-san. I'm very happy today that there's no Vyasa-san. I'm sitting on a cushion, very humble. This is much better. This is my real position, to sit on the same level as all of you. Actually, you should all be on Vyasa-sans, and I should be sitting on the floor. But Shukadev Goswami did not want this honor and respect and reverence and veneration. No. He simply hid away his spiritual advancement. He hid away so that he can avoid this adoration, this fame. Because he knew, if people knew who I really was, they would be coming and touching my feet and requesting the blessings and asking me questions and putting me on a high seat, and I would have many disciples and all. He didn't want any of this. He was very humble. This is such an important principle. Of course, we're in a preaching movement, so we don't imitate, we follow the footsteps. And someone else, very similar characteristic who we can follow in the footsteps of, is Jad Bharat, Bharat Maharaj. Everyone is familiar with the story of Bharat Maharaj, yes? Maybe in India, maybe you would hear this story as a child even, the story of Bharat Maharaj, right? So, Bharat Maharaj, he was a great, great king. In fact, not just a great king, but he performed his duty as a king perfectly. Never made any mistake. He was completely honest, truthful, he was strong, he was able to exact taxes, the perfect amount, and give back to the citizens. Everyone in his kingdom was engaged in the right way. Srila Prabhupada explains that in a righteous kingdom, the Shudras, the Vaishyas, the Kshatriyas, and the Brahmanas are all engaged perfectly. You don't have homeless people. You don't have unemployed people. This didn't exist in the kingdom of Bharat Maharaj. And so Bharat Maharaj, he was a great king. And as a great king does in those days, he renounced his kingdom. He left home. He left his kingdom, he left his palace, his wives, his children, his riches, his gold, his horses, his chariots, everything, his name and fame. He renounced it all and went to the forest. reading this story, you expect he's going to reach perfection in no time. Such an exalted soul, such an exalted personality. Who are we? We cannot even compare ourselves to such a personality. So amazing. Bharat Maharaj, the perfect king. And he wasn't just a king, he was a Raja Rishi, a saintly king. Right? The kings in those days, they were well versed in the Shastra. They were renounced, trained from a young age, that eventually one day they will leave home and live in the forest on their own. So Bharat Maharaj was explained, he was meditating on Surya Narayan, Krishna in the form of the sun, and he was meditating, and every morning he would perform his sadhana, and tears would fall from his eyes as he was meditating, as the sun was rising. Tears, these are symptoms of bhava, one of the highest levels of devotional service, almost at prema, almost pure love of God. He is there experiencing ecstatic emotion towards Surya Narayan. Every morning experiencing this intense affection and love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But still, Bharat Maharaj, after he saw a deer jumping over the river, and the deer somehow or other had some obstacles, fell into the river, broke its legs, Bharat Maharaj, he felt some compassion, as a devotee does, feel some compassion. He went and he helped the deer. We have some cows here, no? We feel affection for the cows, right? We love the cows and we take care of the cows. Prabhu, he's taking care of the cows so nicely here. This is love and affection of the devotee. So Bharat Maharaj, he felt this love and affection, and he went to help this deer. But unfortunately for him, he could not help but give his full attention to this deer. And he forgot about his spiritual life, his sadhana. He started to spend more time playing with the deer, showing affection to the deer. He would be meditating, performing his sadhana in the morning, but really in his mind he was thinking, where's the deer? What's she doing? Is she safe? Is she healthy? Is she taken care of? What do I need to do to provide for her? Eventually this deer disappeared one day, and he went out looking for her, running through the forest in deep anxiety, experiencing intense emotions, trying to find out where she is. I hope she's still alive. I hope she's not been harmed. I hope no tigers or lions have caught her. As he's running through the forest in this way, he falls into a hole and leaves the body. Done. Of course, we understand, he takes another body. He takes the body of a deer. But the special case of Bharat Maharaj is that he remembered his previous life. And so he remembered, oh no, I was Bharat Maharaj, now I'm a deer. I made a grave mistake. I made a big mistake of forgetting about my sadhana, forgetting about the instructions of my spiritual master, forgetting about my meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so now I must make things right. So as a deer, he went to the ashram, the nearest ashram, and was associating with the sadhus, as a deer even. So as he reached the end of this life as a deer, he again took birth as Jad Bharat. Jad Bharat, the son of a brahmana. But this time he said, no more chances. This is it. I'm going to go back to Godhead this lifetime. Nothing, no nonsense, no funny business. No more deer lives, no more animal lives. I'm going to be fixed. He understood from his experience that he should stay fixed in his goal. So as Jad Bharat, even though he had full memory of his previous two lives, as Bharat Maharaj, as the deer, full cognizance and full knowledge of the absolute truth, he acted as though he was dumb, lame, retarded, and like a madman in front of his Brahmana father. His Brahmana father tried to teach him the principles of, Brahminical principles, cleanliness, studying the Vedas. Yes, ritualistic activities mostly, yes. But even though Jad Bharat, he was fully learned in all the Vedas, fully realized of the goal of the Vedas. Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivisto matasmitir gyanam apohanam cha vajeshta sarver aham eva vedya vedanta krit vedavet eva chaham. Krishna is the goal of all the Vedas. And Jad Bharat, he understood the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the goal of all the Vedas. Nothing else for him to know. Still, he pretended as though he was blind, deaf, and dumb. He grew out his hair and matted his hair so that his radiance, his effulgence, his spiritual effulgence would be covered by all the hair on his body, right? And so, again, to this point, which is explained in the purport, we don't try to see the saintly devotees, we try to hear from them. The real qualification of the devotee is the sound vibration which comes from their lotus mouth. And so Jad Bharat, his whole life is ignored. His Brahmana father rejected him. He actually engaged him in a service as a scarecrow. You know, you have this scarecrow sometimes in the farm, some kind of statue to scare away the crows and pigeons and birds. So he engaged him in this menial service. Eventually Jad Bharat, he was walking and he was engaged in the service of holding the palanquin. Palanquin, yes. How do you say in Hindi? Yes, Maharaj Rahugana. Yes, the palanquin of Maharaj Rahugana. And so Maharaj Rahugana engaged him in his service, carrying the palanquin. No idea that this is an advanced, elevated spiritualist. No clue. At some point, Jad Bharat starts to upset the king. Because Jad Bharat, he's carrying the palanquin, but the whole time he's looking at the floor. Because he sees there's ants walking on the floor. He doesn't want to step on the ants. This is again the deep compassion of the devotee. And he's avoiding the ants. And so he's disturbing Maharaj Rahugana because he's not stably holding the palanquin. And Maharaj Rahugana is saying, "What are you doing? It's such a simple service, such a simple job. Just hold my palanquin, look in front of you and walk straight." But Jad Bharat, he's so focused, he doesn't want to harm any living entities. He doesn't want to step on any ants. And after some dialogue between Maharaj Rahugana and Jad Bharat, eventually Jad Bharat starts to speak Krishna Katha. He starts to speak about the absolute truth. He starts to speak about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In general, it's not easy to speak on such matters to a materialist, but Jad Bharat, he spoke in such a way that Maharaj Rahugana was so enticed, so enamored, so struck with wonder. He couldn't believe the beauty of the words coming from Jad Bharat's mouth. And through his sound vibration, he was able to recognize that he was an advanced devotee. Not through his appearance, not through his physical association, but through the sound vibration of Jad Bharat. So Srila Prabhupada here, he says, let's find, "A sage is not therefore recognized by sight, but by hearing. One should approach a sadhu or great sage not to see, but to hear him. If one is not prepared to hear the words of a sadhu, there is no profit." So in the story of Jad Bharat, by seeing him, which many people saw him, his father, his Brahmana father, his siblings also, who his father put on a more elevated position than him, the king, Maharaj Rahugana, and all of his servants, no one was able to recognize his exalted status until he started to speak, for the first time in his life, by the way, started to speak Shabda Brahman, the words of the conclusion of all the Vedas. And in this way, Maharaj Rahugana, he understood, he heard submissively, and he became a little bit more realized in that way. So, in that way we can compare these cases to Shukadev Goswami. Shukadev Goswami again was walking around like a dumb man, like a layman, a madman, in order to not get any recognition. But finally, when the time came to fulfill his purpose in this world, he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit, and in the assembly of all the great exalted sages, even his father who spoke to him was present. But Shukadev Goswami was the one who was put on the Vyasasan to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. And in that way, Sutta Goswami was present in that assembly. He heard from Shukadev Goswami, and he spoke to the sages of Naimisharanya, and the parampara continued like that. Hare Krishna. Are there any comments or questions on this matter? Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
We developed intimacy with that deer. So we also do a lot many things like what you said, any cow or something like that.
Yeah.
We develop a lot of affection towards it and we give a lot of attention to it.
Yes.
So what to do in that case?
Well, ultimately, what is that verse? Vidya vinaya sampane brahmane gavihastini sunicheva swapakeja pandita samadarshinaha. The learned and gentle Brahmana, he sees with equal vision all living entities. Why does he see them with equal vision? Is it because he sees the material elements are present equally in all of them? No. It's because he sees the soul in the body. And the soul is equal in every living being. Similarly, he sees the super soul present. When we offer obeisances, if you say namaste, namaskar, we are offering obeisances to the individual soul in the heart and also Paramatma. We offer obeisances. And we should develop the habit of everyone we see the Paramatma within them. So to your question, yes, we can show affection to living entities. I mean, we're all here, we're all friends and family, and we show affection to each other. Does that mean that we're on the material platform? No, because we show affection on the spiritual platform. We respect each other as the soul. And similarly, when we see a cow, we see this cow as a soul. Jivara Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas. We see the cow as an individual living entity, part and parcel of Krishna, always a servant of Krishna, now being engaged in one of the highest services, providing milk for Krishna. Krishna loves milk. So we see everything on the spiritual platform. Then we won't be bound to this material world. Our attachment, the living entity is always attached. We're either attached to the material or attached to the spiritual. So we have to simply connect everything back to Krishna. We have affection for the cows, but we have affection for them because they are servants of Krishna also. And because we are serving with them, providing milk for the Lord. We have affection for, I sometimes see the dogs around here and sometimes I like to pet them because these are Dambasis, these are Brajabasis. They're not normal dogs, they're very special. And we can have affection for them in that way. In that way, everything is connected back to Krishna, right? And similarly, we have to see everything ultimately as the energy of the Lord. Mayajjakshena prakriti suyate chataracharam hetunanena kaunteya jagad vipari vartate. That everything in this world belongs to Krishna. It's Krishna's maya, Krishna's energy. Moving and non-moving, everything belongs to Krishna. If we see things in that way, then we can carry out all of our activities and relationships with humans, animals, everyone, but without material attachment, without material vision. And through love, Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena, through the eyes tinged with the salve of love, we can see the real self, the soul, the spirit soul, like that. Yes, but these parts and parcel of Krishna. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. But the highest compassion, the highest welfare work is the preaching of Krishna consciousness. Nachagao Bhakta Sange Kara Sankirtan Krishna Nama Upadeshi Tara Sarvajan. Krishna Nam Upadeshi. Give the instruction, preach the importance of Krishna Nam Tara Sarvajan. In this way you can deliver all conditioned souls in the world. So the highest welfare work is not food distribution, building hospitals, all these things. No, the highest welfare work is to give someone Krishna Nam Upadesh, the instructions about Krishna's holy name. So when you see a dog, say, hey, Bolo, Hari Hari, Krishna, Krishna, Rama, like this. I was just reading, just this morning, I was reading the pastime of Shivananda Sen. He starts to play with this dog while he's traveling with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And eventually he's lost the dog and he's looking for the dog and he sees Lord Chaitanya is playing with the dog, throwing prasadam into his mouth and telling him, Bolo, Bolo, Hari, Hari, like this, telling him to chant the holy name of God. And the dog is chanting, Hari, Hari, like this. And the dog went back to Godhead. So you can chant. Maybe the dog won't chant back, but at least by your chanting, the dog hears the sound vibration, the cows hear the sound vibration, and they get some benefit. So we should focus on this spiritual platform, like that. Thank you. Okay, it's 9:15 now. Should we stop or? Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. We can talk afterwards. It's time to finish now. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Giri Govardhan ki, Shri Prahlad Nrsingadev ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Haribo. Krishna. Okay. Everyone calls me Abhinandan.